as pension funds and endowments over the years, which have contributed to the cooperation between our two nations through foreign direct investments. It is now my great honor to introduce one of our keynote speakers today. His experience in the realm of international trade and finance is unparalleled, and his skills in working with businesses and political leaders are unmatched. During his tenure as a member of the President's cabinet, he has helped the United States create millions of new jobs despite the pandemic. Prior to public service, he worked as a top banker and then founded his eponymous merchant banking practice. He has owned companies in nearly every sector imaginable, from steel, coal, telecoms, aerospace, and textiles. He has also served as chairman or lead director of more than 100 companies around the world. He has used his vast experience to help navigate the American economy through one of the most tumultuous periods in financial history. He also is a generous philanthropist, having served as chairman of the Japan Society, trustee of the Brookings Institution, and chairman of its Economic Studies Council, trustee of the Blenheim Foundation, and as an advisory board member of Yale University School of Management, among numerous other positions and organizations. He's a graduate with distinction of Yale University and Harvard Business School, and the proud father to 4 children. Mr. Secretary has spent 4 days in Turkey in 2019 to lay the foundations of the $100 billion trade initiative launched by Presidents Trump and President Erdogan. The longest visit by any Secretary of Commerce on record, as far as I know. I would personally like to thank him once again for that very important gesture. Based on my humble research, I also have reason to believe that he is a fan of the late Belgian surrealist painter René Magritte. Secretary Ross said once in an interview that he likes art that makes him think. The pieces that he collects, he says, must have something to say. Studying Magritte's paintings may be a great preparation to understand international trade relations today, where a smartphone may not be a smartphone, and as Magritte maybe would say, ceci n'est pas un smartphone. It is my great honor to introduce the 39th Secretary of Commerce of the United States, the Honorable Wilbur Ross. Please join me in welcoming the Secretary. Thank you.
Kind introduction. It's an honor to be with you virtually for the 38th Annual American-Turkish Conference. And I'm especially pleased to welcome Minister Pekcan to our discussion today. She was most hospitable to me during my visit to Istanbul last year, and I'm pleased that we have continued our discussions with other meetings in the U.S., emails, phone calls, and now a virtual conference. A special thanks also to the U.S. Chamber's U.S.-Turkey Business Council for organizing this important event. I'm grateful for all you do to promote strong economic ties between the United States and Turkey, a mission you have supported for 38 years. Last September, I had the honor of traveling to Turkey for meetings with the ministers of trade, energy, and natural resources, health, and finance. And during my visit, President Erdogan and I also had an opportunity to meet and discuss the importance and complexity of our social, cultural, and commercial relationship. 1,700 U.S. companies operate in Turkey, and 60 of those firms maintain regional headquarters there. Meanwhile, majority Turkish-owned companies support 4,100 U.S. jobs, and in 2017 spent $4 million on innovative research and development. And respectively, American companies employ 78,000 Turkish workers. Imports from Turkey rose to $10.6 billion in 2019, up 3% over 2018. However, while Turkey boasts a near $1 trillion economy, U.S.-Turkey trade volume only reached $20.6 billion bilaterally last year. Moreover, after years of trade surpluses, the United States concluded 2019 with a trade deficit of $600 million with Turkey. It is of great concern that U.S. exports to Turkey have fallen from 11.7 billion to 10 billion between 2014 and 2019. Contributing to this are a wide array of tariffs on U.S. exports to Turkey, forced localization, of custom rules, regulatory approval delays, and pricing schemes. Currency devaluation also has been an issue. U.S. companies are concerned about a lack of transparency in the public procurement process, an unpredictable judiciary, with the sector, and a complicated regulatory system. These trade barriers limit both of our countries' economic growth. Notwithstanding all of this, President Trump and President Erdogan share in the vision of strengthening the U.S.-Turkey bilateral relationship as our countries work toward our mutual goal of increasing bilateral trade volume to $100 billion annually in each direction. To that end, removing obstacles to trade and investment will dramatically improve the bilateral business climate. We will need to rely on everyone participating today to reach this goal. With that in mind, despite the economic challenges faced by both our nations during the COVID-19 pandemic, the United States is committed to pursuing more commercial opportunities with Turkey. And U.S. LNG exports to Turkey can play a key role in reaching our target of $100 billion in trade volume. Therefore, we are working closely with the Turkish Ministry of Energy to host a virtual LNG business forum on October 21st and 22nd this year. At last year's forum, U.S. suppliers had the opportunity to connect with Turkish partners and consider prospective business opportunities. I invite each of you to attend this year's forum next month. Another collaboration about which we are excited is the project preparation and partnership building activity that U.S. Trade and Development Agency and Foreign Commercial Services are providing to Turkish stakeholders to develop smart cities across Turkey. As a part of this initiative, our governments will work together to streamline access for American companies' most innovative smart city solutions, including smart grids, water delivery, and transportation systems. Commerce Department also has been working with the Ministry of Trade in the digital sector. Digital has proven to be a key engine of growth for our small medium-sized enterprises. Data is the lifeblood of the modern global economy, and cross-border data flows are indispensable for companies accessing global markets. On June 24th this year, more than 60 participants convened online for the second U.S.-ABD Digital Dialogue to discuss various facets of the digital bilateral relationship, including data privacy and enforcement, cybersecurity, 5G, and blockchain. We are eager to engage further with Turkish government and Turkish businesses in the digital sphere. Before I close, it is my pleasure to invite all of you to participate in the Commerce Department's 2021 Select USA Investment Summit, which will take place June 6th through June 9th, 2021 at the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. This event provides a unique opportunity for Turkish business executives to meet with economic development organizations from across the United States. We look forward to welcoming a strong Turkish delegation at next year's summit. America remains open for business and encourages your investment. And the U.S. mission in Turkey is ready and willing to assist you in any way we can. We look forward to deepening our close economic and commercial relationship in the years to come. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much, Secretary Ross. This is Del Renegar from General Electric. On behalf of GE, I want to add my thanks to the Secretary and the Commerce Department. You are our great champions and advocates, not only in Turkey, but in important markets all over the world. And we greatly appreciate your leadership and your service. On behalf of our workers in the United States and in Turkey, I have the distinct privilege of introducing the Turkish Minister of Trade, Minister Ruchar Pekcan, who has been the Minister of Trade since July of 2018. The reasons why Turkey is such an important market for GE is not only because of great customers like Turkish Airlines, but also because of the tremendous talent that is in Turkey, including in the engineering field. Our sourcing and supply chain benefit tremendously from great partnerships in Turkey. And indeed, Minister Pekcan is an example of that, because she is, in fact, an engineer by training and by background. Having that kind of technical grounding, not only in engineering, but also having worked at the Industrial Development Bank, makes her an ideal minister. She also has significant business experience, having worked as a general manager and a board member for several companies, and having also been a partner and founder in an infrastructure company related to pipe and electrical mechanical equipment. This kind of understanding of business and engineering suits her well to being a leader on policy and trade. General Electric has benefited tremendously from having people like the minister serve, bringing a focus on competitiveness and a focus on attracting investment, as well as her work throughout the region in promoting bilateral trade between Turkey and its neighbors. I also want to state the obvious. She is an example for women, not only in Turkey, but in the United States and around the world. I was telling my daughters this morning that I was going to be introducing her and talking about what a strong woman Turkey has as its Minister of Trade. So thank you for your leadership for women and women in business. We are very much looking forward to your remarks and very much wish you continued success in your role. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Turkish Minister of Trade, Ruşen Pekcan. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Renegar, for your kind introduction, first of all. And I'm very much pleased to be here with you today. And dear Secretary Rose and the distinguished guests, I'm very much pleased to be with you here. Unfortunately, we are not able to come together face-to-face this time, but I hope after the COVID-19 pandemics, we will keep going on that meetings as usual before. I would like to express thanks to U.S. Chambers, Turkish American Business Council for organizing this conference at such a challenging time due to the pandemic and the other global developments. I would like to commend and to thank everyone involved for all efforts to reinforce the Turkish and the U.S. government message for our bilateral partnership will grow stronger. As the decades of our partnership in different fields clearly show, we have a robust relationship, as Secretary Ross underlined already. We value our partnership with the US and we are ready to improve our ties. We believe that those ties are strong enough to withstand challenges as the world has been undergoing a significant period of change. Distinguished participants, our trade and business relations have been increasing over the last decades. And our bilateral trade volume, which was $6.4 billion in 2002, has increased to $21.1 billion in 2019. There is a little difference on the figures between two states, indeed always happen. Further, in the first 8 months of this year, our trade volume has grown 3.5%. Today, there are about 2,000 American companies having total current investment of the $12.8 billion in Turkey. And Turkey's foreign direct investment in US stands at $6.8 billion and increased day by day also. The biggest foreign acquisition in Turkey this year occurred in the mobile gaming industries when the US-based firm Zynga purchased Peak Games from Turkey for $1.8 billion. Even though we have observed a considerable volume of the trade and the investment in the last decade, this is not yet sufficient given the potential of both countries. Indeed, our President, His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and His Excellency President Donald Trump agree on the need for the stronger bilateral cooperation in every field, especially in trade. Therefore, they have set a goal for bilateral trade relations that is to reach $100 billion trade volume. Secretary Rose and I are working closely to make this target happen. We met a number of times in Ankara, Istanbul, and Washington, D.C. as well. We have worked extensively with Secretary Rose, and I would like to thank him for his kind support and sincere efforts between bilateral relation between our countries. And we have worked extensively with him and with the representative of our relevant industries, identified the priorities, discussed the concern on both sides. We have reflected the private sector's perspective into the process, and we have been very pleased with the joint work so far. Indeed, we are committed to the target that our leaders have determined. It is clear that the enthusiasm and support of our business communities will be critical towards reaching this target of $100 billion trade volume. But in the meantime, as the governments, we must take certain necessary steps to improve the trading environment as we committed ourselves. In this respect, I have to mention that US government policies such as imposition of the additional duties to steel due to the Section 232, investigation and removal of Turkey from the GSP program have been damaging our joint efforts to reach our target. Indeed, despite extensive dialogue between our ministries, our request to re-include some number of products back into the GSP program, even we agreed but has not received positive response yet. Similarly, regarding the Section 232 measures, while we express our readiness to negotiate a reasonable level of quota as offered to several other countries, unfortunately, there was no progress in this area as well. I hope it will be realized soon. Nevertheless, in the meantime, in the field of energy, among the countries in Europe, as Secretary Ross has already underlined, Turkey has become one of the major LNG importers from US. Despite such a positive development on our side, in addition to the existing measures, the USTR has recently initiated Section 301 investigation into the digital tax services, thereby considerably threatening the current commercial ties between the two countries. Such policies by the US severely limit Turkish firms' ability while entering the US market. And we believe that they are contradiction with the common vision of our president and our efforts and works together with Secretary Ross. While we had common intent to organize trade mission to promote the export of both countries in certain products, such as LNG, furniture, due to the pandemic, we haven't been able to move forward in this area, even we have agreed to come together in March. I believe we must achieve the progress in swift manner towards the target of the $100 billion of trade volume. In this sense, to increase the networking between our business communities is very valuable. In terms of the identified priority sectors such as energy, apparel, textile, furniture, jewelry, white goods, and building materials, among others, we can put into effect a series of online sector-specific events very quickly. The support of our business association to these initiatives would be very welcome. Distinguished guests, compared to many other developing countries, Turkey provides ample opportunities for the market access, is wholly committed to building a stronger, more competitive and liberal business environment. Turkey is well aware of the issues particularly important to the US sides. We are ready to work with the US government to address those concerns, and we are willing to discuss all issues with an open mind, provided that we will move forward in a balanced and a reciprocal basis. In any case, we must keep in mind that we need to deliver concrete solutions, especially in a such challenging time in global affairs. Distinguished guests, achieving more trade and investment and ensuring deeper bilateral cooperation is the basic recipe for the improving bilateral relations. We believe that Turkey's robust manufacturing infrastructure is quite attractive for US investors, who may consider diversifying their manufacturing bases. We are particularly interested in projects which will serve Turkey's ongoing course of technology transformation. We will strongly encourage innovative R&D intensive and high value-added products and service-related investment. In addition to our existing types of industry zone, we have recently initiated a brand new model of specialized free zone in Turkey to encourage investment in high-tech by providing new incentives. The first such specialized free zone has already been designated in Istanbul and is waiting new investors. Further, we cannot ignore the traditional areas for cooperation such as defense industry. Both Turkish and American companies have extensive experience of working together in this area. I have to point out that the recent US practice of delaying or denying export licensing for certain projects have been harming the collaboration between our companies. I hereby call on American companies and their Turkish partners to raise this issue with the US officials in a more vocal manner and support our efforts to overcome such practice. And also, I invite Turkish investor also for the next year, June, investment opportunities in Washington, D.C. We will support them as well. As Turkey's Minister of Trade, we remain ready, willing, and capable to assist you in enhancing our bilateral trade and investment relations on both sides. I believe in the coming months, Turkey and US need to work more closely and intensively together by focusing on concrete steps to achieve our shared targets. As a way forward, I must also point out that in the short or medium term, concluding a bilateral agreement to liberalize trade mutually in certain selected sectors will give an important push to our trade relations. In this period, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, U.S.-Turkey Business Council, Turkish-American Business Council have an important role to play. Together, we can better explain the true value of our partnership to our public and the governmental administrators. As such, we can more easily overcome some issues which have been stalling our agenda. In closing, I would like to thank again Secretary Ross for joining us, as well as his ongoing support and tireless efforts to improve the trade and economic relation between our countries. I hope to see him soon after pandemic in Turkey again. We have also appreciated the work of all those who have been involved to organize this event. Thank you very much.
Now, that was certainly an incredible way to end the second day of the 38th edition of the American-Turkish Conference. Thank you very much to Her Excellency Minister Pekcan and the Honorable Secretary Ross